Robert, you as your career has ascended, what does it look like now when there are kind of these other pieces at play? I remember Ryan Coogler talking about the casting process for Black Panther, and he was like, it was so weird not having complete control over the cast for the first time, you know? And so I wonder if you have experienced any of that as you're now at this new spot in your career.
Well, CAA had been pursuing me for some time, and I had said no over the years, only because I was happy with where I was, and I had a very personal relationship with my agent. And then how it happened is that my agency went kaput. Uh, I was with A3, and they went out of business. Yeah. And so, once that was known in the industry, a lot of different agencies began calling me. So I met with a few. Uh, and CAA, actually, I never had a team of people. It was always just me and my agent. And of course, he had his agency or what have you. So I think that one of the things that they said is that they actually, um, the theater department meets regularly with the film department and meets regularly with the television department, you know? So they have I don't have to say, "Oh, I'm interested in these other avenues." That's a part of the culture there. And so that was great for me. Um, and so that I think is what happens. In terms of the casting, I'm always the final word of casting, and as the director is. Now the director doesn't hire, but the director says who I will not work with or who I want to work because I'm not paying anyone. I'm on the same payroll as the actors on, but I'm getting paid by the same people who are paying the actors, right? So I have the ability of saying I don't want that person, but I can't say I demand this person. I can do that and then go, well, I'm not going to do the show if I don't get this person. But the process of casting a shit meets fan, um, w- because of the nature of the play, I wanted, as I said before, the audience to come in and sort of see familiar faces uh, and to think that they're seeing a play that those faces fit into, you know, and so that they can feel like there's a sense of comfort. And then these faces begin to say things that you don't normally hear them say. And so that was part of the goal of it. I didn't know that we would get this cast, but I was very excited by them, Uh, and so this particular casting, it was for the benefit of the surprise of the actual play, and they're doing that very well, actually.
I see, I see. Okay, cool. Yeah, because my first thought, I'm looking at the cast, I'm like, okay, create like, arguably some of the best reps that one could have. And I just wonder about when someone gets to a certain point in their career, you talk about, I mean, you seem very precious about the way you work and and I don't know if precious is a word, but at a minimum intentional, like very intentional
Mm.
about the way that you work. And so I feel like there's this element of sometimes you see when people get to a certain point in their career, there's these other factors that start coming into play. And
Certainly.
and for someone with such a unique and specific voice, yeah, I was just curious like how that begins to mesh.
It's difficult only because, I've been myself for 54 years now. I have relationships. I have artistic friendships. I have people who I worked with that would have liked to come in and audition for the play, but we didn't have auditions for every role. We made offers, and people who will only accept offers, are a particular type of people, and then there are people who will come in and audition for you as a whole other group of people, So it really depends on, the project, but for me, it is about making sure that everyone, is ready to tell the story that is the most exciting version, and that they are also fearless in a way. And sometimes you mess up. Sometimes you get a group of people and a couple of people are not fearless and they're afraid of, although they've read the play, although they know my work or what have you. Once you're inside of it, it's like, oh, I wasn't thinking we were gonna go all the way here with it or what have you. Um, So, that's a tricky thing, but the only reason why I think that I have whatever career I have is because I maintain my identity. I cannot write like, Sam Hunter or various other playwrights. Like, I can't write and I don't direct like various other directors, you know? So, the only both the good and the bad is that, I am uniquely myself. And some people want that, and some people don't, mess with that. We can't curse on this, can we?
Yeah, we can. You can say what you want.
Oh, no. Some people just don't fuck with me. Um,
Sure.
and some people do fuck with me. So I choose to be around people who fuck uh, and not try and go and find people to try to get them to be in to like me. You know what I mean? I think that artists we spend so much time trying to get people to look at me, that we forget that we can just turn around and there's a group of people over here who are already staring at you. You just had your back to them, you know? Um, and we're searching so much for like, especially like the idea of like I'm searching for the CAA thing. There's a lot of people that are CAA clients and ain't working, you know? So, they may have the opportunities, but there's no way that every client that CAA represents has a job at this moment. That's impossible that for that to be true. Um, so I think you have to go to the people that are looking in your direction as opposed to trying to spin people into your direction. And the way you find those people is being uniquely who you are, finding work that speaks to you, right? Uh, and hopefully it will those people will find you, you know?
Mm.
And so,
Now,
yeah.
no, I love that we're getting to this place. And with that being said, if an actor is like, "Oh my god, I love Robert O'Hara's work. I want to work with Robert O'Hara." How would you recommend that person I don't know if maybe pitch themselves is the right way to put it. Maybe, like, pitch themselves or maybe how does that person begin to navigate their way to a collaboration with you?
Well, I only do a certain amount of projects. So I'm often getting people write me and go, "Hey, I really love to audition for this, and I really love to get to know you," and blah blah blah. And so I have to also protect my own artistry. I can't be everything to everyone, you know. And so when people do interact with me, or people do sort of like write me or have you, I direct them to the casting agent. And the fact that I am directing you to the casting agent is better than you just calling up the casting agent and say, "I want to work with Robert O'Hara."
Right.
I can have lunch and coffee with everybody that wants to work with me. Um, and I also have a history of collaborations. You know what I mean? So it's difficult because I recently had that happen, and it happens more and more now that someone has a project or someone wants to be engaging with me, but I can't, follow every lead. Uh, and so what I try to be is kind and respectful and send them in the direction. Uh, and also, allow people to send me their resume or, and other real, and I'll keep them in mind as I can. But you're not going to get a job with me by writing saying, "I want a job with you." Know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
have to go through a process as everyone else, and I can sort of like point you in the direction of the beginning of that process. Um, but the idea that you want to work with me and that's enough for you to work with me is silly, really. I mean, I want to work with everybody. Can I work with Tom Cruise? Can I just write him up and be like, "Yeah, hey, I got a movie in mind. Can you do it?" You know what I mean? No, there's a process, and so if one can be so kind as to direct you to the line of that process. That's all I think one can ask of another artist.
Hey guys, thank you for checking out The Actor's Instrument on YouTube. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. You can follow us at Actors Instrument Podcast on all social media platforms. Till next time, y'all. Peace.